Hey, how's it going? Hermes has one.
Tonight was the head of house games, of course, every Monday night. And this time around, there was a little difference compared to the last two head of house games since the merger. The housemates were playing together, like male and female, they played together. And there was also a twist in the nomination for eviction process. And of course, Shegs got a punishment from Big Brother. Okay, so before I go into all of that, I'm Bethy, and this is the Big Brother Naija show here on TAV TV, where I keep you updated on everything that happens since the season of Big Brother Naija, season 7, Level Up. Okay, so let's go straight into it. So the first stage of the games, as usual, the head of house games, had everyone participate in it. Now this time there was no male or female for the first stage. And at the end of the first stage, we saw Chumsy, Eloswags, Chi-Chi, and Hermes, advance to the next stage. Okay, yeah. So the game was a fishing kind of game. You know how Big Brother's games are. They were to stand at a certain distance and fish, kind of. So there was a makeshift pool kind of thingy with fishes inside or on top of it, and they were to magnet those fishes with their own poles, which had magnets at the tip. So it was just like fishing, and each fish, they had 4 different colors. Each fish had a different, like for instance, the one with red, I think it had 10 points, just like that. So each fish of a color had its own point. So of course, the person with the highest number of points at the end of the day will advance to the next level. So that was what happened. And we saw Eloswags, Chi-Chi, Hermes, and Chumsy advance to the next stage. And I was like, Eloswags again? I don't want this guy to win head of house. And I didn't want I didn't want Hermes to win head of house either. And I was like, okay, so that means it's between Chi-Chi and Chumsy, but I knew that. I didn't think Chi-Chi was going to really do great like that. So the next stage, which was the final stage, they were also to fish, but this time around there was a makeshift canoe and fishes scattered around, and just like the other head of house games, one particular fish amongst all the fish had the head of house title. So of course the person who is lucky enough to pick that particular fish would be the head of house. And they had 30 seconds to do that, so they were going to take turns. And since Chumsy finished with the highest number of points, she was to start first. So she did, and she didn't catch any fish. And the next person was, I think, Eloswags. He didn't catch any fish. And then there was Chi-Chi. She didn't catch. Okay, they caught fishes. Sorry, they both caught fishes, but they didn't get the head of house fish. Yes, there's a lot of fish in this. Okay, so yes. And finally, it got to Hermes' turn, and he was the lucky winner of the head of house because he caught the fish with the head of house title, and it was like, his face was so serious that Big Brother was like, okay, Hermes, kindly put a smile on your face. And he smiled, it was quite funny. And of course, the privilege of being head of house comes with you choosing a member of the opposite sex to share your bed. And of course, it's a no-brainer. He chose Allysyn. And I like Allysyn. Allysyn is really this very jovial, playful person. And when he chose her and she was like, and Big Brother was like, Allysyn, do you accept his offer? She was like, we all know she's going to accept it. So what was that? Anyway, it was nice. And yes, that came with her having the privilege of full access to the head of house bedroom, but no immunity this time around. So we know that before I go into that, Big Brother also addressed, Shegs, for not, carrying out his task properly, because dude was just flaunting the last week's Tail of House task, complaining that he can't wear a skirt. Hello? When you were poorly performing, did anybody tell you it was your choice? So now you want to feel too big to, carry out the punishments. Anyway, so Big Brother told him that for his flaunting the rules for being the tail of house, he wasn't going to participate in this head of house, and he automatically would retain the title of undefeated champion tail of the house. And he gave him a new punishment this time around. He was going to be wearing an apron that says "Here to Help," and every housemate was made to ask him, that they are meant to like ask him, send him on errands all through the day. Like they are mandated to, like if they do not, they will get punishments if they don't send him, except for Dotun and Doyin, who were not allowed to send him on errands. And I was like, yeah, you deserve that. You got that coming. It's good for you. Yes, Shags. Good for you. Okay, so after that, of course, we know that the next thing that follows is the live nomination for possible eviction on Sunday. And this time around, Big Brother asked the housemates to nominate 3 housemates, each person. And yes, it was a weird process because a lot of them were taken aback. But for some reason, Cheesy and Rachel's names kept popping over and over again. And I was just like, if these guys were not riders, they would definitely have gone home. But hey, the housemates who were up for eviction are Fina, Chomzy, Cheesy, Rachel, Ella Swags, I think Brian, and Doyin. Now, the thing about Brian was that they brought back the whole veto power thingy because it was Adekunle who was originally in that Brian's place, but Big Brother asked Hermes to use that his veto power to switch Adekunle with someone else and replace with someone else. And he replaced him with Brian, and I felt bad. I'm like, okay, why are these guys up for eviction again? Fina, I'm not worried about Fina. I think she'll scale through. Brian, I don't know for sure. And Doyin, I think Doyin might not make it. I don't know, but I can't say. I mean, we're going to have to watch to find out, right? So, well, I will definitely be here to tell you what happens next. And until that time, I am Bethy, and this is the Big Brother Naija show here on Thav TV. Do not forget to like, subscribe, leave comments,